Okay, we're back. Notice in the S3S, in both of these major and minor representations, okay, this is the same thing, S3D, S2C. The 6 and the 5 are in the pentatonic right there. Okay, so remember, these are the pentatonics, okay. For the major and the minor, it doesn't matter, because the major, if you add the major to the minor, you get the pentatonic. Okay, does that make sense? So here's the major. The major for the, let's just start with a C. The major would be up here. Major would be 3/5 root. Okay, 3/5 root like that, and the minor would be 3/6 root, 3/6 root. Add them together, and you get the pentatonic, and that works all the way up the line. So if we did the whole thing, it would be 3/5 root, and then 3/5 root has to come up. Notice when we actually play it, the 5, the root has to move over 1 because of the tuning third, and that's our C up there in our C box. Okay, and then to the top would be this, a repeat of the C string 3/5. So when you add this to this, you get this. Okay, so you add the major to the minor, and you get the pentatonic. Well, guess what? That's not entirely true, because we left out the 2. So, but remember, it's the structure. It's the structure that's important. So whenever in doubt, I want you to remember that we're doing the pentatonic, and what'll make this easy. So, sorry, the 2 was included in the pentatonic there. So add this to this, you get this. Not. Okay? At least it got me to play it for you. I've been kind of like squeamish about trying to play these, but this is how I'm going to learn them. Okay, the minor is going to go up and over, the major is going to go over and up. Okay, and this is, I'm just going to get used to these shapes. So instead of looking at string shapes, we want to play with some speed. So for instance, we want to do the D shape. So we're going to start on the 2. Well, I would go, okay, D is, let's see, it's 2, 3, 4. And then let's go to the A string is 5, 6. Okay, and let's go to the E string is 7 root 2. Okay, here's the E string. When I say E string, I mean the E string shape string. It could be anywhere. Okay, this is it. Here's an E shape string. Okay, that's in the key of C. You want to do it in the key of B. This would be an E-shaped string. As long as you agree that it's an E-shaped string. Why? Because on top of E goes C again. Okay, so their alias, once you played these both alias, then you're definitely in the key of E. Okay, so that's how you define it. You would define it. There's 2 aliases. Okay, there's the D alias. We've got G alias to D. Okay, and then we've got the E alias to the C alias to the C. Once you play both of these, you're in this key. Once you play both of these, you're in this key. Okay, same thing. So this would be the G shape, the E shape. So let's look at this. These are going to be the new shapes. So what I was getting at was, all right, so we were playing this D, right? Instead of going one string at a time. Okay, it'd be easier if we looked over here to the diatonic right here. So down on this D, but remember this is this 4. I gotta fix it again. I'm gonna fix it again. So we don't have, we don't have any, it's important. All right. So if you start on this 2 here, okay, instead of looking at it as, okay, here's D, 2, 3, 4, okay, here's A, okay, and then here's E. What I look at this as is S3D right here. So we look at this as an S3D. That gets us up 3 of the strings. So I know how to play an S3D. That's an S3D. On top of that's going to be an S2C, but it's going to be warped over. So it's 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, because it was warped over. Okay, and then the top again is the same, warped over too, along with that string on top of it. Once again 2 is directly on top of the G one. Okay, 5th of G is D. So we look at it in patterns. Okay, so let's suppose we want to do a G pattern. It's going to be a big long S5G, G, D, A, E, and C. So it's going to go 2 to the right there, a middle, it's like an A sandwich there, and then 2 to the left there. So it's going to go from G, it's going to go 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just G on top, 6, 7 root. So we want to start looking at them as patterns so we can play them faster. And this lesson is just for that, is just to do that. So let's look at that great big S5G now in the major and the minor. And it's not going to add up exactly to the pentatonic, but it's certainly outlined by the pentatonic. So you can see here the little stack of 3 short right in the middle there. Okay, so it's going to go 6 root 3, 6 root, and then 3, but 3's warped over, so instead of going on a slant over here for the 3, I went straight up for it. Now we don't go 3, 5. We're not playing the pentatonic. We're going the minor triad we're doing now. So what are we outlining right there? An E minor. E minor shape. Okay, because E minor is if you take a G and you go 1 caged letter up, 1 caged letter is C-A-G-E, takes you to the E minor, that's the 6th, because cage is a descending pentatonic scale. C-A-G-E-D, C-A-G-E-D. Been that one. Done that before. Okay, so here we go. Let's do the major first. So with the S5G, and I got them all 5. I've got my C shapes, my A shapes, my G shapes, my E shapes, and my D shapes. So let's just cover the G, sorry. So the major is root, 3, 5, root, and then 3, 5 warped up like that. And you have to learn how to play that quickly so you can go ahead and learn it as a pattern. Okay? Now, it's not a very good pattern, I'm telling you. I may adjust these patterns for you, but certainly if we look at that pattern, if we look at the S5G, I'll square it off. If we look at the S5G right here, look at the magnificence of this pattern right